You can't see my t-shirt, but it says Tale as Old as Time. It's so cute. Mesdames et messieurs, it is with greatest pride and you know the rest. Hello, my name is Stacey, I'm a mess in a dress, and if it is your first time visiting us, welcome! Today we are here for part 3 of our Disney Dining Reservations series, and today we are all about the fabulous Be Our Guest restaurant. So a quick recap of the series so far. This is a series of review videos of our experiences with Disney Dining Reservations. So far we have seen our reviews of Cinderella's Royal Table and the Ohana restaurant for breakfast, and today we are heading back to the Magic Kingdom to check out lunch at the Be Our Guest restaurant. So Be Our Guest was one of the reservations that I was kind of unsure on whether or not we would book it. It is an expensive reservation. It is the same price, I believe, as Cinderella's Royal Table, at least pre-character experience costs anyway. And I wasn't 100% sure that the food was going to suit my family. It's a little fancy, shall we say, but I will get onto that a bit later. But everything I'd seen about Be Our Guest suggested that it was this stunning, amazing experience, and you just had to kind of see it to believe it. And I really, really wanted the girls to experience it, but was trying to weigh up whether or not it would actually be worth the cost and the time. So Be Our Guest restaurant is a fixed price, sit-down table service restaurant in the heart of New Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom, an area that didn't exist the last time I was in Florida. The whole theming is meant to make you feel like you're stepping inside the Beast's castle, and it's one of those key, popular bucket list reservations in Disney World. My original plan regarding Be Our Guest had been that we would go for breakfast, because back in like 2019 when I was planning this, they did a quick service breakfast which was like a fraction of the cost of the main sit down meals, and that was what everybody's recommending you do if you want to just be in the room but maybe not have the full 3-course meal. Sadly, by the time we made it there, breakfast was no longer on the cards, and so it was a choice of lunch or dinner. After having lots and lots of conversations with the girls and sort of umming and ahhing, we eventually did decide that this was something that we really did want to experience. This was meant to be a once-in-a-lifetime holiday, and we don't know when, stroke if we will ever get back there, so we thought, you know what, let's go, let's have lunch, and let's make the best of it. So the reservation system for Be Our Guest works in exactly the same way as for Cinderella, so if you've seen that video you'll already know what I'm about to say. But basically you log on to the Walt Disney World website 60 days before your trip is booked, and you can then select your dates and times. I did find this one a little bit easier to get than Cinderella's Royal Table. It still, I think, took me a couple of days of like looking around and considering different options, but I did find a number of different reservations available, so it wasn't quite as tricky to get as Cinderella's Royal Table had been. And also, most importantly for this one, you don't have to pay in advance, so I suppose that's kind of a bonus because we could book it and then save up for it before we got there. The setup of the meal is the same for both lunch and for dinner. It is a set fixed price 3-course menu, adult menu and child's menu, and just like with all the other dining reservations, you turn up at the castle, you go onto the app, you check in, and when it's your turn to be seated, someone comes over to greet you and escort you to your table. What was really funny on the day we were there is it was smack in the middle of a torrential Florida downpour, like full thunder, lightning, lashing rain, and the girls and I had to abandon our family and run through the rain and the puddles and the storms through New Fantasyland to the Beast Castle. So it really did feel like we were sheltering from the storm, which could not have been a more perfect start to our Be Our Guest experience, even if we were a little soggy when we arrived. So the atmosphere and the decor at Be Our Guest are absolutely 100% the main draw of going there. I would argue that this is the main reason to go to this restaurant, is just how stunningly beautiful it is. The entrance to the restaurant looks like the entrance to the Beast Castle. You've got stained glass windows with the rose, you've got big elegant doors, you've got chandeliers, and then as you are led into the castle you enter the grand ballroom. So there are 3 dining rooms in Be Our Guest restaurant which you may be dining in during a stay. They are the grand ballroom itself, beautifully decorated exactly like the ballroom from the film. It even has the snow falling down outside the windows, there are the chandeliers, there are the balconies and the banisters and the pillars. It is just absolutely the most stunningly beautiful room I've ever sat and had dinner in. I felt like I was smack in the middle of the film. I think the only thing that possibly could have made it better is if we could have got up and had a little dance around, because you just felt like that's what you were supposed to be doing. Just off of the ballroom there is the West Wing, which is another room that you can sit in. This is obviously based around the Beast's West Wing from the film. It is dark, it is atmospheric, there is lightning and thunder going off outside the windows. The Beast portrait actually hangs over the fireplace and switches between the prince and the Beast at various intervals. There is the enchanted rose in a corner, and I believe occasionally a petal will fall. It's a really magical, dramatic scene, and if you really want to feel immersed in the story, that's a great room to be in. And the last room is actually an original room designed for the restaurant. It's not from the film, but it's inspired by the film. It's the Rose Gallery, and this is basically like a tribute to the artwork and the just beauty of the film Beauty and the Beast. There's lots of pictures of the characters around you. In the middle there's this great music box with Belle and the Beast dancing, which I believe I heard is meant to be like invented by her father, and it's this really beautiful, pretty room. But I will be honest, I would imagine it's the one that nobody actually wants to get to sit in, because it's just not as exciting as the other two. Do you feel like they probably missed a trick by not having that be the library or something? Because that seems like the obvious choice for that final room. And it wouldn't be that much difference to decorate it as a library rather than this rose gallery that it is at the moment. Now, you don't actually get to pick which of the rooms you are sat in, although I believe you can ask for your preference if you wish to, although as with anything, they can say no due to just sheer numbers of reservations or time or any of the rest of it. If, like me, you are just too timid and too shy and too polite to actually like ask for anything above and beyond, you get what you're given. Now, Poppy really wanted to be in the West Wing. She really liked the drama and the atmosphere and the moodiness of it, but Freya and I were definitely of the opinion that we wanted to sit in the Grand Ballroom, because it is the ballroom, it's the iconic room, it is Beauty and the Beast, and I'm afraid to say Freya and I won. We were also sat quite near the back of the room, so we were quite near the big windows with the snow falling. It was so atmospheric, it was so beautiful. It was also quite dark, not like oppressively so, but just very sort of dark mood lighting, as you can probably tell from some of the video footage. So let's talk a little bit about the food at Be Our Guest restaurant. So Be Our Guest is a French-American style dining experience. It is meant to be fine dining, and it is a little bit on the fancy side, as I mentioned earlier. This is not any of your usual sort of fast food, takeaway, American food that you expect in basically everywhere else in Disney World. This is something a little bit different, and depending on your eating habits, this may suit you or it may not. So, like with Cinderella's Royal Table, it's a fixed menu. You pay a set price for adult and for main, but in Be Our Guest, you pick your appetizer and your main course, but your dessert is pre-designed and everybody gets the same thing. So, I'm probably not going to read the entire menu because it is quite extensive and I probably can't pronounce half of the things on the menu, but if you did want to take a look, then do check out the website. The whole menu is on there. Obviously it's subject to change, presumably on a daily basis, but I will talk you through what me and Freya had as our choices. So I chose the French onion soup. I had seen this on the internet. It looked really interesting. It was French onion soup. I don't know if I've ever had French onion soup before, and I really liked it, but I don't know if I'd have it again. It is very oniony. It is very cheesy. Both of those things are not bad and not unappealing, but it's not the kind of food that I think I would choose to eat every day. Even though I did really enjoy it. Freya went for a salad, again, as she always does. She really liked this. She absolutely raved about it. I don't know that it's exactly the same salad that is currently on the website, but I mean, a salad's a salad, right? You can't really go wrong. For her main course, Freya actually chose the pork dish with like a selection of vegetables, and again, she really enjoyed it. She said it was absolutely delicious, very well cooked. She is now a vegetarian, so she wouldn't be ordering it again, but she did really like it at the time. I went for the chicken dish. Again, it was a chicken breast with roasted vegetables. I will say I didn't enjoy it as much as I had my main course in Cinderella's Royal Table. I just felt like it wasn't quite as flavourful. The chicken was really well cooked and very delicious. The vegetables were sort of on the harder side, which I think is probably how you meant to eat vegetables, but that's not my personal preference. And I just found it was a little bit lacking in something. Maybe I just needed more sauce. I don't know. But it was lovely, but I definitely don't think I would rush back to eat the same thing again. The dessert trio was just absolutely amazing. You got a selection of desserts including a lemon macaron, a little chocolate truffle, and then perhaps most importantly a little chocolate tart filled with the grey stuff. Try it. it's delicious. I literally don't think I can say great stuff without saying that. Again, this was really, really good. I don't think it was necessarily like the most delicious dessert I've ever eaten in my life. The grey stuff is basically a mousse, and I think I've seen you can get it on cupcakes in other places in Disney World, and maybe that would be preferable, because just on its own in like a little chocolate pot, I don't know. Overall, I think I did enjoy my meal. The food was nice, but I maybe didn't think it was fantastic. And considering the fact that it's meant to be this like uber fancy, just signature dining experience, and it's like one of the most expensive meals in Disney World, maybe I wanted to be blown away. So Poppy on the kids menu went for the fruit and cheese plate, which, you know, was very standard. I think she got grapes and some different cubed cheese, and obviously that went down really, really well. And then we get to the main course, where things got just a little bit more difficult. Now at the time, Poppy was very much only eating chicken tenders. Like literally chicken nuggets were her primary food source throughout our entire time at Disney World. So at the time, they were not anything like that on the menu. Bloody irony being, they do now have chicken strips on the menu as I'm looking at it. They did, however, do a simple grilled chicken breast, so just plain chicken, which she was more than happy with. But then you had to pick two sides, and the sides that were available were zucchini, green beans, wild rice, and I believe at the time we were there it was sweet potato. Now they've added french fries. Seriously, if we'd have gone now, she would have had chicken strips and french fries. As it was, I think she ended up going for green beans and sweet potato, neither of which does she like, neither of which did she eat. I really don't think she ate a lot of this meal, which was a shame. But I also was prepared for like going in, because I knew there was a risk that this wouldn't suit her, and that was just a risk I was going to be willing to take. And I said, I'll get you some chicken nuggets later when we get out of here. For this, I was very much expecting we were paying for the experience, and if she liked any of the food, that was going to be a bonus. The kids as well got a little dessert trio, and like with the Cinderella's royal table, the kids' dessert was just a little bit extra. I believe, if I remember this rightly, the grey stuff came in a little white chocolate chip cup, which I really want to say you got to paint. And only as I edit this footage and watch back on the video am I going to see if I was right about that. But I feel that there was something special about this dessert. There was some interactive activity, and as anybody with a kid will know, at dinner, keeping them sat down and entertained is like half of the battle. So well done Disney for finding a way to keep the kids occupied and entertained while the grown-ups can sit and finish their dessert, because that is an ingenious idea. As with Cinderella's royal table, drinks like straight individual soft drinks are included in your meal. However, you can buy additional sort of specialty fancy drinks if you would like to, including alcohol for the grown-ups. And this time we did decide to pick some of their more special sort of signature drinks off the menu. So Freya went for the Minute Maid Premium Lemonade in the souvenir cup. Now this is literally just lemonade, but it's in this really fancy goblet cup thing, which is amazing, and you get to keep and you get to take home with you. What I did not do prior to ordering was look at the freaking price on the menu, because I think when I went it was like $15. It's now saying $19 on the menu on the website at the moment. So this is a really freaking expensive glass of lemonade, or even if the glass is really cool. It's currently sat on a shelf downstairs. I don't know if I'll ever use it again, but please bear in mind, if you're buying this, you're buying lemonade in a really fancy cup. If you want the souvenir, great, go for it. It's an awesome souvenir, but it is just lemonade. Poppy ordered the blue raspberry slush, which came in like almost like a little sort of goldfish bowl, and bizarrely, in like the most random decor item ever, came with this little light up glow cube that says 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea on it. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Which, it lights up, it flashes, it's very cool. Now it's blue. I have literally no idea what relevance this has to Be Our Guest or to Beauty and the Beast, or why you would put this into a drink at the Be Our Guest restaurant. But Poppy was thrilled, because this is a ride that she is absolutely fascinated by and is incredibly annoyed that it isn't there anymore, because she's heard a lot about it. So it was all very sort of like serendipitous and fortuitous that it was in her drink, but why it was in her drink, I have no idea. Again, didn't check the price of the drink, and it did knock the bill up quite a bit just having those two extra drinks on it, as opposed to just ordering like orange juice or lemonade or Coke, as we had done in previous restaurants. But hey, it's Disney. What are you supposed to do if not spend shed loads of money on stuff you can get cheaper elsewhere? So let's go and have a little bit of a close look at those prices, shall we? So I can't remember exactly how much it was when we were there, but the prices on the menu don't sound that different. So it's currently $67 per adult, plus tax and gratuity on top of that, and that is for anybody ages 10 and up. I believe when we were there it was 9 and up, so they've lifted that slightly, but I mean Freya still would have been over the age of being an adult, and I do think that's young. I will say, especially with the food at Be Our Guest, that is young to say that somebody over the age of 10 is going to like anything on that adult menu. Poppy's now 10. She wouldn't touch anything on that adult menu with a barge pole. So I do think it's a little bit unfair of Disney to set the child menu sort of that low, especially considering the fact that, you know, the kind of food they're serving. The children's menu is $39 per child, again, plus tax and gratuity. And I haven't got the total to hand, but I will put the whole total of the meal, including the drinks, just here so you can see exactly how much we paid, plus tax and gratuity. It was more expensive to Cinderella's table because of the additional extras that we added on, but there really isn't that much price difference between the two. Although I am pretty sure that Cinderella's Royal Table will be more expensive now with the character dining on top of it. As you can see, it's not a cheap meal, but it is a rather kind of special, spectacular meal. It's also worth noting that this isn't advertised as a character dining experience, and I don't know if this happens all the time, but when we were there, the Beast did wander through the dining hall a couple of times. So it's not a meet and greet. You're not encouraged to get out of your seat and go and speak to the Beast. You don't get autographs, you can't take photographs, etc. But you can see him from a distance. I guess depending on where you're sat exactly in the restaurant will depend on how good a view you get. He does walk through each of the rooms, but it is very much a walk through. He walks through, he stands, he has a bit of a wave, you wave back, and then he moves on. But still, we can say we saw the Beast in Disney World, and I do believe at the moment this is the only place you will see the Beast in Walt Disney World other than like parades and shows and stuff. So if you're a big Beast fan, maybe that's enough of a draw to get you in there. So as always, we're going to finish with the ultimate question, which is, was it worth it and would we go again? So I'm absolutely really glad that we did decide to go and check this restaurant out, because it was visually stunning, it was spectacular, it was beautiful. It was like the room of dreams. I loved the whole thing. We had a wonderful server, as always, who was incredibly friendly and incredibly helpful and just an absolute darling. And I loved the whole experience. The food, I was kind of a bit like, not massively fussed about, mainly because it just wasn't to my taste. There was nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't the food that I normally like to eat. And so I wasn't blown away by it. And it is an expensive meal. So I don't know if this is one that we would do again if we were to visit. The girls might bully me because they did really enjoy being there, but I kind of feel like having been there and having seen it and having done it, I don't really know if I need to do it again. This might be a one and done kind of experience. Having said that, if they did bring back the breakfast, I think I would bite their hand off and go immediately, because I would love to sit in that room with just a little bit of a lower price point. And also, obviously, going for these big sit down meals does take out a great chunk of your day. And considering the fact that I didn't love the meal, I think I would possibly have preferred to have the time running around the park and going on rides. Granted, not in the pouring rain that was happening at the time we were there. So did really enjoy it. I do think it was worth it. I do definitely think it's worth it if you've never done it before, but I don't know as it would be something that I would do again. As always, if you have enjoyed this video, if you found it useful or helpful or interesting or any of these other things, please give me a like or leave us a comment, because it helps keep me motivated to put on these daft ears and keep making videos. And if you want to make sure you don't miss our next Disney Dining Reservation video, then please hit that subscribe button. We are 3 restaurants down. We have 2 more to go, and I'm really excited about the next one because it's something a little bit different. It's not a dining reservation as such. Instead, we are travelling to a galaxy far away to go and have a few drinks in Ogre's Cantina in Galaxy's Edge in the Hollywood Studios. So if you are a big Star Wars fan, this one might be for you, and I will see you very soon.